glad that you're here, and I'm glad you're here for one of my favorite days of the entire year, Christmas Miracle Weekend. And also one of my very favorite things about this season is receiving all the Christmas cards in the mail. If you've ever gotten any of those, right? And I just love it how it's these glorious snapshots of all of these families trying their hardest to look festive and functional at the same time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. In fact, I found some great Christmas cards on the internet that I wanted to share with you guys tonight as we kick this thing off. And so these are some of the best I could find. And so here's this first one. And so you actually have to start at the top and then work your way down to the bottom, because nothing says holiday cheer like pretending you're in a relationship with yourself, right? There's nothing like it. Or this next one. We're excited, we're engaged, we're expecting, and I'm Emily. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you, but if I were Emily, I'd probably just bow out. You know, I'd be like, yeah, I'm gonna take this year off. You guys just do this card without me. Or maybe this one. Now this is a little bit of a face swap. I mean, nothing says Merry Christmas like a photo that will haunt your dreams for the rest of your life, right? Or this one. I don't even get it. Except for the couple that squats together, I guess stays together. I don't know. Or this one. Nothing brings a family together for Christmas like ignoring each other all in the same room. Or this one. I love this one. This is, finally, right? Finally, a Christmas card that says we love our pets and we're not afraid to go to space to prove it, right? And then this last one right here, and this is going to be an important PSA for all the families in the room, especially the grandmas and the mothers in this room, because this happens when one person says, what if we all wear matching PJs? And there is nobody in the family brave enough to say no, all right? That's exactly what happens, and that one will also haunt your dreams, I think, yeah. Well, I love getting those Christmas cards, and then if you're lucky, you get the BuzzFeed version of the life updates. You know what I'm talking about? You get to hear what everybody's up to in the family. And I'm guessing that you like to get those cards too. My guess is like you like to read those updates as well. And my question is, why are we drawn to those? Why are we drawn to that? One word, really, and it's this word, family. That's why we're drawn to it. We're drawn to it because of family. And whether we realize it or not, inside of us, every single one of us is a deep, unshakable longing for family. And we can't fully explain it, but we all feel it. And it's why some of our greatest joys in life come from our family, and it's why some of our deepest wounds come from our family. And it's why the holidays can be the thing that you can't wait for, and for others of you, the thing that you can't wait to fast forward through. And if the holidays are hard for you, the truth is it probably has something to do with a complicated family dynamic. And yet inside of every one of us is this longing for family. And where does this longing come from? Why is that even in us? Well, it all begins right here in Psalm 139, verse 13 and 14, that says this: "For you, God, created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." You see, your longing for family did not come from the Hallmark Channel. It did not come from culture, and it did not come from your desire to have matching pajamas. No. It came from God. In fact, God created you to long for a family. Did you know that? From the time that you were in your mother's womb, he knit you together and he put this desire deep in you to long for a family. And maybe you've never thought about it like this before, but he truly did design you this way. And why would he design us that way? Well, because he always wanted you to be a part of his family. He always wanted you to be a part of his family. And the Apostle Paul describes it this way. He said this in Galatians 4:3. He says, and that's the way it was with us before Christmas. He says, this is the way it was before Christ came. that we were like children and we were slaves to the basic spiritual principles of this world. And that basic spiritual principles, that seems like a big phrase. And what does that even mean? It means this. It means that people related to God through rules. Right? They related to God through rules. Or they tried to earn acceptance through performance. Right? If I could just do enough, then God would be pleased with me. These are people that lived under fear and not freedom. Or they saw the law or rule keeping as the path to approval. And Paul is writing, he says, this is what people were like before Christmas. And in 2025, do you know what we call all of this? Religion. It's religion. And this is how it fleshes itself out. We say things like, well, if I just do enough, maybe God will accept me. If I just do enough, maybe he'll accept me. Or if I mess up, I know that God will reject me. God won't want me around. He won't want me to have any part of anything with him. Or my identity depends on my spiritual performance. Or this last one, that God is pleased with me only when I'm perfect. And that's what religion does. Religion keeps you on a treadmill that you can't get off of. Running and striving and exhausted, never confident if you've done enough. Never confident about where you stand with God. Never confident enough to know if he loves you or if he accepts you or he's leaving you by the wayside and he's like, I'm done with you. Now, when Paul's writing this, he's not saying that rules are bad or that obedience doesn't matter, nothing like that. But he's saying that if you are relying on rule keeping, if you're relying on rule keeping to make you right with God, you are missing the point. You're far off from how God designed all of this. In fact, he had a much better plan for us. And this is what Paul was trying to get at. So look at this passage again. Galatians 4:3-5, he says, and that's the way it was with us before Christmas. Or before Christ came, we were like children and we were slaves to the basic spiritual principles of the world, or we were slaves to religion. But when the right time came, God sent his son, born of a woman whose name was Mary, who was subject to the law. And why did God send him? God sent him to buy freedom for us who were slaves to religion so that he could adopt us as his very own children. Isn't that amazing? This is why God sent Jesus. It's not about trees, and it's not about songs, and it's not about dealing with annoying shoppers, as much as I know some of you love that. Christmas is actually about adoption. Christmas is about adoption. Think about that for a minute. God didn't send Jesus just to save you. God sent Jesus to adopt you into his family. He wanted you so badly to belong to a family. He wanted to give you a name. He wanted you to have a Father in heaven who loves you unconditionally, a Father in heaven who will never fail you, a Father who never leaves and will never leave you alone. And when you say yes to him, when you say yes to, and you open your heart to God and you walk in relationship with him, when you accept that gift of forgiveness, something gets awakened inside of you. You know what it is? It's the God-shaped desire to belong to a family. It's the God-shaped desire that's been in you since before you were born, that God-shaped desire in you to belong to a family. And that's why Jesus came and he lived. He grew up, right? He didn't stay in a manger. He grew up and he lived and he died for our sins. And 3 days later, he rose again from the dead so that we could have relationship with God himself, so that we could become his sons and his daughters. And how do you do that? You have to be willing to accept him as your Savior, to receive his forgiveness. And when you do that, you can become part of God's family. And here's what's so amazing. This invitation is for everyone. It doesn't matter how much you have screwed things up in your life, you're still included. It doesn't matter if it's been years since you stepped foot inside of a church, you're still included. It doesn't matter how messy your story is right now, you are still included. It doesn't even matter if it's been years since you've ever uttered a prayer. You're still included. His arms are open wide to anybody who wants to be a part of his family. 1 John 3:1 says this, see what kind of love the Father has given to us so that we should be called children of God. And so we are. And this is the love and generosity of God, that he would send his one and only Son to this earth. And before we're done today, I want to give anybody in this room or watching online an opportunity if you want to be adopted into God's family. And this means that even if you have had a good family, you can be a part of God's family. Even if you've had a rough family life, you can still be a part of God's family. And before we're done today, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say a prayer and be a part of God's family. Because the miracle of Christmas isn't just that Jesus came. No. The miracle of Christmas is that he came for you. He came for me. And last week when we started this series, we said that around Christmas time, you hear this phrase a lot, that Jesus is the reason for the season. And while that is partly true, and yes, Jesus is why we celebrate Christmas, it would be probably a little bit more realistic to say that you are the reason for the season. And that I'm the reason for the season. That the reason that Jesus came to this earth, the reason that we celebrate Christmas is so that we could be adopted by God and be a part of his family.